Hey everybody, my name is Lynchy. I am a 2L at UCLA Law. And today I will show you another day in my life. This video will be a little different from the last video because I will answer a few questions about why I chose UCLA Law and how I got into UCLA Law. To start off, as you can see, this is my desk space. This is where I usually spend my life. And a lot has changed since last year. So for starters, I got a monitor. Highly recommend because like for a lot of law school, you'll be taking notes, you'll be, writing memos, and it's just great to have two screens so you can kind of, split up all the documents, split up the cases, maybe put your case on one monitor and then put your Word doc in the other. But yeah, I highly recommend. And also, I don't bullet journal anymore. As you saw in my last video, I've been bullet journaling for a long time, but it does take a lot of work because I have to still, be very artistic and draw in designs. So now I use Notion. This is kind of like a brief look of what my Notion looks like. And a lot of law students actually do use Notion, so that's a fun fact.
8 a.m. I couldn't fall asleep again. Been overthinking all the little things I've said. I'm sleep deprived almost every night, and I wish that I wouldn't think instead. I know the sun is up and I got things to do, but I don't think I've got the energy to move. And I go back to my dreams again, but I shouldn't be sleeping when it's still now and I'm stuck in my bed. Still now and I'm stuck in my head, 'cause I've been just not all on my own.
So I'm gonna go ahead and answer a question about how I got into UCLA Law. This is just my personal experience. Everybody has their own personal experience and story, so I recommend you, talking to different people. But for me, I think the three strongest things I had in my application were my GPA, my personal statement, and my letters of recommendation. For my GPA, I had a 3.9 GPA. For my letters of recommendation, I had one of my professors who I was really, really close with. And he taught constitutional law, and so he was very familiar with the law school process, and he vouched for multiple students before to go to law school, and I was also his research assistant, so that's how we established our close relationship. The other person that I had my letter of recommendation with was someone that I worked with when I was a peer advisor. So she was my supervisor, but also my major advisor. So with that relationship, she could vouch for my academic success, but also how I work in a team and in a professional workplace. And lastly, for my personal statement, I wrote about my passion for creative writing as well as my upbringing. I grew up low income, I have immigrant parents, and that really influenced how I view life. And so one tip I have for that is to really understand and explore yourself. See, one thing about you that you have been either insecure about or even proud of, and how does that reflect your internal growth? And what does that say about you wanting to go to law school? And I also recommend, having a lot of people review your personal statement, and so that they could give you a lot of honest and helpful feedback. UCLA Law does a pretty good job in reviewing each of their applicants in a more holistic perspective, and I think a lot of, if not all, law schools are like that too. So if you were like me and maybe didn't do so great in her LSAT or didn't have a top score, that's totally okay, because I still made it in. And I think it's all about bringing your best self and having multiple aspects where you can show your strength.
Time that I get up.
location, I really wanted to stay in California. I know that this is where I want to stay to practice law. And I'm glad I took that into consideration because it was a lot easier to apply to jobs in LA because UCLA Law has such a big name in the LA area. Another reason why I wanted to apply for UCLA Law is for the critical race studies program. I knew that I wanted to do something civil rights related, plaintiff side related, and UCLA Law is one of the very few programs, at least right now, that has a critical race studies specialization. And what's cool about it is that our program was founded by critical race scholars including Kimberly Crenshaw, Cheryl Harris, Baldwin Clark, and they are all current professors on the campus. And I get to learn such powerful topics about race from them, and it's really exciting. So
I can never let go. Tell the truth, if it were up to you, would you redo it from the start? You're saying it's too much. My heart is holding on, but you got me neglecting the thought of us ending up splitting apart. I know that it's my fault. Don't wanna go, but I have to. I chose to do this without you, but I
5% tip or a 60% tip. Like, and again, you can fight about what those numbers mean. How are you judging them? Really, is that in fact the case when, again, most people in the top decile actually can't get into Harvard regardless of whatever your race is? You can have those arguments about it. But I think what I'm hearing, what Lynchy's is saying, like, if you told them, look, it's like a 10% swing, then people might be okay with it. But if you told people, oh yeah, it is a 90% swing, then people would disagree with it and be offended. Yes?
never let go. Tell the truth, if it were up to you, would you redo it from the start? Cause I'm still out here so low.
Okay, so usually after school or during lunch, I like to study off campus at a cafe. And as much as I love UCLA Law and the campus, it's just nice to have a change of scenery. So we're gonna go to a coffee shop now.
My friend nostalgia, I found you when I heard the sweet sound of the ones who I once knew so well. In a voice memo from years ago, we were laughing about some nonsense. Oh, how I miss those friends. Circumstances made it so that I'll never see their faces, except for on the internet, where I'll never really know what's going on behind their smile. I mean, I guess I could check in once in a while,